Okay, and welcome everyone. It is Monday, December 16. For those of you on the replay, who knows when, but this is a very important topic, and hopefully you'll get something from it, especially those of you on the replay who might still be lost a week from now. But I'd like you all to just sit back, relax, get ready to laugh. We'll look through some things and you won't believe it. Guarantee you won't believe it because this has become so obvious the way we like it. So it's a good thing. Let me make sure the sound's okay. All right, looks like it's good. Okay, got everyone in here. Um, wow. So all I can say is wow, wow, wow. This is just never a dull moment here. All right, so just a moment. I'd like you to I'd like to say hello to everyone in here. If you're just lurking, come on into the chat, enjoy it. And if you're on the replay, leave a comment down below. Leave some comments down below. So don't be strange or awkward here. Come on in and enjoy and hit the like. So we got Don McKenzie, Fur Baby Daddy, Malibu, Mino Dino, Heather Brown, Scales of Injustice, Five Green Acres, Brenda Mays, Crazy Girl 1203, K, Who's Your Daddy, EWTN, Fiend, True Justice, Five Green Acres, Bobby Smith, Rick, Sweet Dude Shibby, Kate U, and Plain Iron, Royal Wee, and Donnie Pitbull Kuntz, Estrella, and looks like that's it. And so we'll get right into it. So please allow me to settle on in. All right, what's up, Birdie81 and Digital? All right, and everyone, like I said, just come on in from the Lurker crew. It's okay. It's just fine. What's up, Marie Dijon? Okay. All right, it's a new day. Hello, Heather Brown. I may have said hello already. Hi to everyone. So wow, Indy Cindy. What's up, Indy Cindy? All right, so what we got here is tonight we're going to discuss drones, or the truth about these drones. This drone situation that's it's like viral, right? It's infecting the country. It's not only is it infecting the country, it has spread worldwide. So this whole uh, this whole fanatical paranoia has spread worldwide, and we're going to be discussing it because I don't know about you, but when I look out my window, everything's just fine. Everything's normal. It's not a war of the worlds scenario, but what it is going to be interesting to discuss. It's a problem, reaction, solution scenario, and I'll be proving that to you tonight. And if you think I'm crazy, that's okay, because hey, plenty of people call me a conspiracy theorist to begin with, so it's nothing new here. Okay. Pardon me for hitting the computer. But yes, it's problem, reaction, solution, and so hopefully people searching up drones might stumble upon this and ease their concerns. Okay. Yes, it's a psyop. It is. But like every good psyop, there's an objective. So we'll be talking about that. What's up, Brittany? All right. And so, so this is how we're going to start tonight. First, we're going to, before we dive in, I guess this is what we'll do. We'll start with this. So some entertainment, because the reason I've been thinking about doing this show for a few days, and I thought, yeah, I don't know. But what happened is that is last night I was watching something and I could not believe my eyes, because many of you don't know anything about me, but one thing about me is I've always been a keen star watcher, okay, and moon watcher. I used to be obsessed with photographing the moon, and at one time I owned a telescope, and I've always been obsessed with the stars and watching them in the constellations. So I saw something last night and I said, okay, that's it. I got to do it. I got to do it. And so we'll get to that really quickly, because I want you to see this with your own two eyes, and you're not going to believe it, or like me with four. So you're not going to believe what they did. It's literally, it's insanity. Okay. So let's go. We'll do this. We'll say hide comment, and we'll go to.
There's been more drone sightings across the country. The latest report in New York, New Jersey, and Maryland. The White House says there is no evidence the reported drones pose any.
Okay, I couldn't even let it play more than 2 seconds. Look, I don't know how many of you caught it. Can anyone put in the comments, what did you just catch? What did you just catch? Did you catch it? Do I need to replay? Do I need to back it up a little and ask you to observe? Oh, yeah, Aaron Town. And the award goes to Miss Aaron M. Town. Okay, yeah. Look at this. Look at the fuckery in your face. Like, you will not believe. Okay, we're gonna back it up a few seconds and watch what they did. And it's gonna happen multiple times.
And Maryland.
Now, what is that? That is as Orion as you can get. There's nothing more Orion-y than this. Okay, so this is Orion. It's not a fleet of drones, but watch what the cameraman's doing. It's just really funny. It's funny. Okay, so I'll let it play though. I'll let this play so you can see that it's not a mistake because they come back to it. So watch.
The White House says there is no evidence the reported drones pose any threat, but that's doing little to calm concerns. People in Southern California are also reporting mysterious drone sightings, and one person captured video of lights over Temecula.
I'm going to pull this up here and show our viewers there's a big red dot. There you see it, kind of dead center of the screen.
Okay, and I'm not saying this is or isn't, but this could definitely be Mars. Okay, there's a possibility this could be Mars, but I'll let this play. This is not the point of playing this. Orion is the point. So let me let it.
What do you think that is? What do you think people are seeing in the skies, and why only at night?
And they move really fast.
Eyewitness News cannot confirm what these videos show, but we found several people who say they saw similar lights.
These three lights that were in a sort of a triangle kind of formation, an odd looking thing, and I'm thinking that doesn't look like a plane. It started flying erratically.
Witnesses at first thinking it was aircraft heading to nearby Camp Pendleton.
You could hear them, and you couldn't hear this thing.
Angel says he's uneasy after seeing 5 zip over his head toward the Pacific Ocean.
You know, it's just kind of scary to think like who's watching, and the fact that we contacted the sheriffs, the Murrieta PD commented on a post of mine. Nobody knows whose they are.
This following report.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Orion's back. Orion is back. Orion has made its reappearance. So let's.
Of similar sightings this month in the Northeast, now under investigation by local, state, and federal authorities. A spokesperson with the FAA tells Eyewitness News the activity has more people looking up and noticing what's flying overhead.
Is this some type of federal agency? You know, listen, these drones seem sophisticated by all accounts. We have a lot of false reporting, but the good accounts, we do have them from military bases, personnel, and from our own first responders around northern New Jersey. These things are definitely sophisticated, fast, turn their lights off at times. So we need to get a handle on what it is and who's running it, right?
So,
and if
Sheriff,
there are, we're from Jersey, we can take the truth, right? So.
Right. Well, Sheriff, we did see a Chinese spy balloon go over our country, and our government knew about it and did nothing about it, which is why some people are like, it's possible it could be a foreign thing, and our government's just so inept and so stupid or compromised or all of the above that they're doing nothing about it. But I think there was a drone, am I correct, that actually crashed and fell, and New Jersey law enforcement saw that? What was?
We don't have any report. Yeah, we don't have any reports of a crash, a drone. I will say this. I think that was up in North, wasn't in our county. Listen.
That was a civilian drone. Okay.
If the Department of Defense doesn't know where the origins are for these so-called drones, then we're in trouble. We always thought that if there was something in the air the size of a car, that the Department of Defense would know where it came from, what its origin was, and what its purpose was. Now you have a United States Senator going out with the local police, to look for fireworks at night? That is scary.
No, I guarantee you, the military and the politicians at the highest levels absolutely know what these are, because there's absolutely no way that airspace is not protected. I mean, we have to wake up to reality here. They can see your drone, the size of a bird, your little hobby drone. They can see those on radar. Come on. It's just all BS, but let it continue. I'm sorry.
It is terrifying. Like Caitlin just reported, President-elect Trump is calling for government transparency, which you are as well. He's saying maybe shoot them down if we don't get any more information. What is your reaction to that?
Well, I would leave that up to the Department of Defense. But how can the Department of Defense not provide information to the public? This is a shock to me. You know, I have a general belief in government, but this is taking me to the end of my belief that government is really being honest. Now, there's been some apparently top secret briefings, right? With
Government being honest. What is this guy smoking?
Congress people. Now they come out of that, and I heard Josh Gottheimer come at the representative, and he said, well, I'm not getting a lot of information, but I don't think it's a threat. So my guess is there is information, but they're holding it back. And now what you have is panic. Originally some questions, now you have serious concerns, and at the next point, somebody's going to do something stupid. So the Department of Defense has to come clean with the American public.
At this point,
No. They don't care about being embarrassed right now, because there's a MO at place. There's an objective. Okay. And the objective is more important than looking incompetent. So they're willing to take the L in appearances right now and look stupid, because there's an end game here. Okay. So you know what? I'm done with this. You know, there's more. Okay, there's more. I mean, we don't really have to hear much more of this. Let me remove this. Back to the end game. Okay. This is your end game. So tonight we're going to talk about this end game, and it should be very interesting. And here's the thing. I'm not saying there are no drones flying in the sky at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this is an absolutely, it's a MK Ultra psyop. Okay. This is a psyop in order to instill panic, fear, cooperation, paranoia, etc. Okay, now, so there will be some drones that they've thrown up for photo op purposes, and et cetera, et cetera. But let's continue. Okay, so I need to grab this where I can read it, because the screen is too far away. So let me grab my my thing. So first of all, you have to pay attention where this is really centered. Where's the bullseye? Okay, and the bullseye here is New York. Okay, obviously New York. So found it odd. I found it odd here. Elise Stefanik, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik's legislation in Countering CCP Drones Act will add communist Chinese drone company Dajing Innovations, DJI, to the FCC covered list, prohibiting new models of DJI drones from operating on U.S. communications infrastructure. This passed on the House floor with overwhelming, unanimous bipartisan support. So this is September 9. Okay, pay attention. September 9, 2024, September 9. DJI. Okay, DJI is the absolute number one biggest, most popular, and best drone manufacturer there is. Okay, just so you are aware. And you know, I'm a hobby drone pilot. You've seen some of my footage. I went to Delphi, I flew the drone. I went to Indianapolis, I flew the drone at the Flora Girls Cemetery. So, you know, you've seen some of my drone footage. I've flown my drone all around these mountains here. I love flying my drone. Okay. My drone is a DJI drone. So let's continue though. Let's continue. The House of Representatives overwhelmingly passed my legislation in the Countering CCP Drones Act to end the drone monopoly communist Chinese DJI held in the U.S., protect our skies, and build the U.S. drone industrial base. Ah, you see what this is about? Do you see what this is about? This is about market. Okay, this is about legislating the United States homegrown drone market into existence, because DJI is kicking the shit out of the entire drone industry. Okay. So what they have to do, they have to shut that down. And so we can do it here. But what is this going to mean for us? This is going to mean exponentially increasing in price. Okay. So if you ever like to fly drones, sorry to tell you, it ain't going to happen much longer. That you're going to be priced out of the market. You better get one now. Okay. Let's continue though. For years, the U.S. government has known that DJI presents unacceptable economic and national security risk, but no one was willing to take the necessary steps to remove communist Chinese spy drones from our skies. And that's allegedly, that's the one that I fly around my neighborhood. That's a Chinese communist spy drone. Okay. In March, Stefanik's bipartisan Countering CCP Drones Act was marked up unanimously through the House Energy and Commerce Committee. Additionally, the Countering CCP Drones Act is included in the House-passed National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2025. The U.S. government has certified multiple times that DJI drones present a legitimate national security risk, and there need to be actions taken to mitigate these risks. Okay. Adding DJI to the covered list would be consistent with actions taken throughout the U.S. government, including, and then there's a whole list of things here. Some various meetings and bulletins, and I'll let you just read through that for yourself. Okay, December 2020, DJI added to entity list. 21, DJI systems pose a threat. December 21, Department of Treasury added DJI to the list of Chinese military industrial complex companies. October 22, DJI is added to the Chinese military company list, a role in advancing modernization efforts of the People's Liberation Army. January 2024, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency and FBI released cybersecurity guidance. 2024, January, Department of Defense recertified DJI on the 1260H Chinese military company list. Congresswoman Stefanik has led initiatives as follows. February 2022, introduced Countering CCP Drones Act. Reintroduced in April 2023. In November 2023, she led American Security Drone Act and successfully advocated for its inclusion in the National Defense Authorization Act for 2024. In November 2023, co-led bipartisan letter urging the Biden administration to investigate CCP-backed drone company Altel Robotics. In December 2023, led a bicameral letter demanding oversight into the DoD's role in allowing U.S. companies to export critical components to DJI. In March 2024, called out former Obama Attorney General for lobbying on behalf of DJI. In May 2024, introduced Drones for First Responders Act to implement a new tariff on communist Chinese-controlled drones. In May 2024, led a letter urging the DOJ to open an investigation into the Drone Advocacy Alliance, which is funded by the communist Chinese drone company DJI. September 2024 letter to USDA and CISA requesting information on their efforts to mitigate the risk of DJI manufactured agricultural spray drones. Now, question for you. Those of you who, let me pull this down a second. Okay, for those of you watching this play out on the television, okay, on the news, you see the lights on those drones, don't you? Okay. Newsflash. If the drones didn't want to be seen, they would not have lights blasting in every way possible, okay? These lights are blasting in every way possible, specifically for the photo op. And this is a whole deal, so you got to understand that those lights are on so that it's obvious they're up there, blah, 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 blah. And so it's a whole psyop thing. It's a media campaign, okay? It's to stir panic so that this thing passes at the urging of the American people rather than behind their back or something like that. Okay. Illicit drone use in the U.S. is on the rise, and House lawmakers want to ensure federal agencies have the power to successfully counter drone threats, saying it is imperative to pass new legislation to ensure current drone countering authorities are extended. This is December 11th, 2024. House lawmakers want to extend expiring counter drone authorities. Okay. Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? The current drone countering authorities, authorized as part of the FAA Reauthorization Act of 2018, are set to expire next week on December 20th. What are the odds? What are the odds? How many days is that from now? So this FAA Reauthorization Act of 2018 is set to expire next week or this week on December 20th. Therefore, we need a PSYOP to reauthorize this drone countering authority. Under the law, counter drone authorities were given to the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Justice. These agencies have the power to use advanced detection technologies to identify, track, and mitigate drones, also known as unmanned aircraft systems, UAS. It is imperative, during a House Homeland Security Committee meeting, okay, on Tuesday, Representative Fulger of Texas called on his colleagues to extend the current authorities before they expire. Yes. You get it? You get it? It's imperative that we not only make sure that the current authorities are extended to protect our national security, but also work together to responsibly reform the current legal authorities that provide federal agencies with critical tools to mitigate credible threats posed by drones. Okay. Chairman of the House Homeland Security Subcommittee on Counterterrorism, Law Enforcement, and Intelligence. Do you understand what's going on now? Okay. Representative Pfluger said the Counter UAS Authority Security Safety and Reauthorization Act of 2024 would renew and reform current counter UAS legal authorities. The bill would extend existing DHS and DOJ counter UAS authorities through October 1st, 2028. Do we get it now? Do we get it now? Because this was all expiring in 4 days. Yes. No, we couldn't have that. We could not have that. The Department of Homeland Security, the DOJ, they want this. They want this. The legislation also aims to strengthen public safety in communities across the country. For example, check it out now. It would require DHS, Homeland Security, to establish a counter drone mitigation pilot program under which select state law enforcement agencies could, quote, operate approved counter drone mitigation systems and mitigate unauthorized drone operations on behalf of the covered entities. Okay, so you see what's going to happen? It's going to give all the police and sheriff departments, etc., the counter drone technologies and programs. That's what's being pushed for. Okay, that's why you have all of these sheriffs and all of these House of Representatives and senators and you got mayors and you got governors, and they're all saying, "Oh, there's nothing we can do about it. Why do you think no one's doing anything about it? Oh, we don't know what to do about it. We don't have a way to do." Okay. Jeez. The time has come for Congress to expand the authority. You see what this is about? Expand the authority of federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies to better utilize monitoring, tracking, and single jamming technologies. Okay? DHS, DOJ, and other agencies have briefed this committee on the threats posed by malicious and authorized drones. We have seen drones shot down at airports in this country and around the world. Okay? The reason we need this legal authority is that without it, most of effective types of drone detection and counter drone technologies could violate criminal laws. Okay. The reason we need this is that without it, I've already read that. Okay, so let's get back to this. They could destroy or disable aircrafts in flight, says the DOJ's Deputy Assistant Attorney General for National Security. The FBI strongly supports, of course. This is a Fed operation here, these drone sightings. Supports pursuing expanded counter drone authorities for state, local, tribal, and territorial partners. Okay? The reauthorization or long-term extension of this legislation is essential to continue our mission in combating the evolving threat. The FBI cannot alone protect the thousands of mass gatherings held in the U.S. each year. Since its counter-UAS authority was granted in 2019, Wheeler said the FBI has conducted 69 operational missions using this authority. Okay. Here we go. We say the Countering CCP Drone Act was removed in the latest version of the NDAA 2025, but in its place is a very similar language threatening the future of DJI and Autel drones within the U.S. As the lead author of the legislation writes, the goal is to, quote, remove communist Chinese spy drones from our skies. The new proposed legislation requires an as of yet unnamed designated national security agency to determine whether any of the following pose an unacceptable risk to the national security of the U.S. or the security and safety of the U.S. of persons. Communications or video surveillance equipment produced by DJI, the best drone manufacturer in the world. Yes, that's right. Communications or video surveillance equipment produced by Autel, or communications or video surveillance equipment produced by any subsidiary, affiliate, partner, joint venture, or entity with licensing agreement. Communications or video surveillance services, including software provided by DJI, Autel, and any subsidiaries, affiliates, partners, etc. If no determination is made within 1 year, all communications and video surveillance equipment listed shall be added to the FCC's list per Section 2 of the Secure Networks Act of 2019. If there is a determination of unacceptable risk, these items will be added to the FCC's list within 30 days. Inclusion on the FCC's list means that these entities no longer will be able to get FCC authorization to operate on the U.S. communications infrastructure. They will no longer be able to release new models of drones in the U.S. However, the FCC already has authority to revoke existing authorizations which the new incoming FCC chair may decide to do. In addition to the FCC reassessment, the current draft of the NDAA 2025 bill requires the DoD assess whether additional Chinese drone manufacturers should be added to the list and banned from contracts with the department. Requires the DoD to assemble and analyze commercially available drones to identify risk and increase the resiliency of the drone supply chain. Lots of other anti-China legislation is in this bill as well. All right. So that's what we're dealing with here. And what we're dealing with, okay, is problem, reaction, solution. Let's be absolutely clear, okay, with these drones. Everyone needs to absolutely understand very soberly what we are seeing with these drones. Problem, reaction, solution. Okay? Also known as PRS. It's a variation of the classic Machiavellian fabricated external enemy strategy for manipulation of public opinion and society, usually by the government. The general theory is based on the Hegelian dialectic method, thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. But the specific term is usually only used in the context of a conspiracy theory. Definition: problem, reaction, solution is defined as the strategy of creating a crisis. Okay. So what's the crisis here? The crisis is drones everywhere, drones. It's the drone panic. Okay, that's the crisis. Create the crisis first. Drones. Waiting for a call for action to resolve the crisis. That's the reaction. Call for action. Well, what is the call for action? Oh, we need to know what these are. What are these? We need to see what are the drones? Is it an alien invasion? Is it? And the sheriff saying, we don't know how to do with it. We need an answer. And the governor saying, we need an answer for we need the Homeland Security to tell us what's going on. And then you got the Pentagon saying, oh, we don't know what they are, but obviously they're not a threat. No big deal. It's just drones. No, it's not drones. It's planes. Okay. And the public is saying, we need to know what's going on. We are we going to shoot them down? We need to know what's going on. Okay. And then taking action, the solution, taking action. And what is the action in this place? Legislation. Okay. So creating a crisis, a problem, waiting for the call to action to resolve the problem, the crisis, then taking the action, the solution. And guess what? The same person or the same entity creates it all. They create the problem. They create the reaction using the media. Then they create the solution, which is the legislation. That's happening this month, supposedly in response, which actually furthers a hidden agenda, usually gaining power. Read it. This is often cited as zero. The government wants power. The people will not freely give. 1, the government creates or exploits a problem, blaming it on others. 2, the people react by asking the government for help, willing to give up their rights. Think terrorist attacks, cyber terrorism, domestic terrorism, drones. 3, the government offers the solution that was planned long before the crisis. And in this case, what is it called? You see? This is exactly what we're dealing with, without a doubt. Pardon me. Learn to spot this. Learn to see it when you're reading the paper, surfing the news on the web, listening to the radio. It's time for our world to change, but it does not have to be the world of Orwell's 1984. We can end this cycle now. Get smart. Be a bad citizen while being a great neighbor. You know? Problem, reaction, solution. Let's look at another example, okay? Let's look at another example. Remember, I said New York, obviously, is where this is starting. New Jersey, New York, okay? So who do we have here? We have Representative Mike Sherrill. His drone plan of action. Oh my. After weeks of unidentified drone sightings, says Mike, over New Jersey, two things are clear. One, the drones remain unidentified. And two, the people of New Jersey need clearer, more consistent communication as to what our government is learning and doing about the drones. New Jersey's patience is getting thin, including my own. When this volume of unidentified aircraft conduct flights over civilian and military airspace, we need a swift, cohesive response. See, that's the solution. He's calling for the solution that's already planned. It's already written. I'll show it to you momentarily. We need a swift, cohesive response and a streamlined, coherent line of communication. We need effectiveness. We have felt little of this to date because we've created a crisis. So both as a congresswoman and a former Navy helicopter aircraft commander, here's what I'm calling on the government to do. Okay. 1, deploy Reaper drones and counter drone radar to locate and track. Customs and Border Protection possesses a fleet of MQ-9 Reaper drones, unmanned aircraft that have the electro-optical infrared capabilities to track targets in various environments. Where appropriate, coordinating authorities should have the use of counter UAS radar systems that can accurately detect drones at site of launch, whether those systems are federal, commercial, state, or locally operated. Remember what the previous reading said, okay? They want the cops, they want your tribal police, they want your sheriffs, they want your state police, they want everybody to have this shit. Okay. Under the jurisdiction of Homeland Security, to coordinate with non-border law enforcement to operate outside their normal area of responsibility. With that in mind, the FBI, which is currently leading the investigation, come on, Jesus Christ, come on, should immediately and formally request the use of the required number of CBP MQ-9 Reaper drones in coordination with the Department of Homeland Security to track these drones and identify their locations of origin as they track. I guarantee you they're coming from the fucking military bases. Okay? They're coming from the military bases, or they're coming from some aircraft carriers. Can we be real? As they track the unidentified drones with Reapers, federal partners should coordinate directly with New Jersey law enforcement agencies, plural, to respond swiftly to the drone landing locations. Coordinate congressional information sharing. This issue crosses multiple jurisdictions, Homeland Security, law enforcement, military, and intelligence communities, just to name a few. In turn, the issue tracks across the jurisdiction of multiple congressional committees. Congress needs a unified response, which means it needs to be operating off a unified set of information. Here we go with the solution. I am calling on congressional leadership to immediately convene a classified hearing with the committees of jurisdiction, including but not limited to the committees on Homeland Security, Transportation and Infrastructure, Armed Services, Judiciary, and Intelligence, with leaders from relevant federal agencies to receive a full briefing. Okay, next. Centralize the response. The interagency process as it stands isn't meeting the moment. This is not the time for a lack of clarity over who holds responsibility, nor is it a time for intra-agency turf protection. It's clear there needs to be a coordinating agency that can knock heads together to hasten outcomes and streamline communication. Here we go for it. Here we go. So I am calling for President Biden to immediately stand up an interagency task force to address the challenges posed by unidentified drone incursions, to formulate a whole of government approach. Okay, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, which has deep experience in overseeing the security of the U.S. airspace and a wealth of assets and expertise in this arena, is naturally suited to lead this response. Guess what? You don't need to call for that. They already know what's going on, dude. Come on. Are you fucking kidding me here? Streamline communication with the public. Well, yeah, that's what should be done, but I am calling for the federal government to immediately implement a clear reporting process and means of disseminating appropriately cleared information to the public. Yeah, bull. Future detection and prevention. It's clear from my conversations, blah, 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 blah. I am calling on the leaders of the agencies with the jurisdiction over this issue to collaborate on a report to Congress. Okay. Now, it gets worse. Cybersecurity guidance, Chinese manufactured drones. Okay. This is from CISA, C-I-S-A, CISA. January 2024. Listen to it. January 2024. Chinese manufactured drones, more commonly referred to as drones, continue to pose a significant risk to critical infrastructure. Remember, this is January, and U.S. national security. While any drone could have the vulnerabilities that enable data theft or facilitate network compromises, the People's Republic of China, that means DJI, has enacted laws that provide the government with expanded legal grounds for accessing and controlling data held by firms in China, DJI. The use of Chinese manufactured drones, DJI, requires careful consideration and potential mitigation to reduce risk to networks and sensitive information. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, and the FBI encourage U.S. critical infrastructure owners and operators to procure drones that follow secure by design principles, including those manufactured by U.S. companies. CISA and the FBI further recommend following principles and implementing cybersecurity recommendations listed in this guidance to any organization procuring and operating drones. Sorry, but someone's coming and disturbing me, so I'm having to deal with them in real time. Since 2015, I'm sorry, threat. Okay. See how I get disturbed by jackasses. Threat. The White House's 2023 National Cybersecurity Strategy and Annual Threat Assessment from the Office of Director of National Intelligence both recognize the PRC as the most advanced, active, and persistent cyber threat to the U.S. Their analysis describes how PRC expanded cyber operations are to challenge the global order and U.S. interests. Central to the strategy is the acquisition and collection of data, which the PRC views as strategic resource and growing arena of geopolitical competition. Since 2015, the PRC has passed or updated comprehensive national security, cybersecurity, and data privacy laws and regulations, expanding the oversight of the domestic and foreign companies operating within China, as they should. One of those laws, the PRC's 2017 National Intelligence Law, compels Chinese companies to cooperate with state intelligence services, including providing access to data collected within China and around the world. Yeah. Is that any different than what's done here in the US? This includes prominent Chinese-owned drone manufacturers that the Department of Defense has identified as Chinese military companies operating within the United States. The 2021 data security law expands the PRC's access to and control of companies and data within China and imposes strict penalties on China-based businesses for non-compliance. The data collected by such companies is essential to the PRC's military civil fusion strategy. Yeah, like that doesn't happen here, which seeks to gain a strategic advantage over the US by facilitating access and to advanced technologies and expertise. The 2021 Cyber Vulnerability Reporting Law requires Chinese-based companies to disclose cyber vulnerabilities found in their systems or software to PRC authorities prior to any public disclosure or sharing overseas. This may provide PRC authorities the opportunity to exploit system flaws before cyber vulnerabilities are publicly known. Vulnerabilities. Drones are information and communications technology devices capable of receiving and transmitting data. Each point of connection is a potential target that could be exploited to compromise sensitive information. Avenues of potential compromise include data transfer and collection, patching and firmware updates, broader surface for data collection. Okay, you can read that for yourself. The PRC's collection of sensitive information and potential network access obtained from Chinese manufactured drones may result in significant consequences to critical infrastructure security and resilience. Acquisition of such data or network access has the potential to advance PRC's strategic objectives and negatively affect U.S. economic and national security by exposing intellectual property to Chinese companies, providing enhanced details of critical infrastructure operations and vulnerabilities, compromising cybersecurity and physical security controls, exposing network access details, mitigation. Public and private sector organizations using drones to collect sensitive or national security information are encouraged to procure or transition to secure by design systems. Well, that should already have been done, obviously. It's not the end of the world here. We don't need it. Daddies and mommies who want to buy a drone to fly a drone around their neighborhood or property don't need these controls. UAS cybersecurity recommendations. Okay, plan design, ensure organization-wide development on the goals, policies, and procedures for drone programs. Identify and select UAS platforms that best meet operational and security requirements of the organization. Perform regular updates, analysis, and training in accordance with the organization's plans and procedures. Ensure proper operational security policies are followed during operational usage. Okay, so you see, this is all good and all for businesses who are military contractors performing essential tasks that require this level of security. Yes, this right here should be applicable to those military contractors and military. So why are all your congressmen and women trying to thrust this upon you? Why are they willing to exploit a psyop using the media to instill mass hysteria about drones force down your throat the fact that you're not going to have DJI drones, the best drones in the world? No, You don't deserve nice fucking drones. We're going to take them from everyone. We're going to increase the price threefold at least. Manufacture them here in the U.S. They're going to be equally insecure or unsecure. They're going to be 3 times the price, probably half the quality. And I guarantee you, they're going to be easily compromised by the U.S. government, just like your phones. That's your truth about the drones. Problem, reaction, solution. So, before we're done, I want to look at something. We were reading about Miss Elise Stefanik, New York's 21st district, okay, congresswoman. This is the little piece that she authored. Okay, so let's read through this real quickly. To amend the Secure and Trusted Communications Networks Act of 2019 to provide for the addition of certain equipment and services produced or provided by DJI to the list of covered communications equipment or services published under such act. Okay. Ms. Stefanik, for herself, and Mr. Gallagher introduced the following bill. April 25th, 2023. May 7th, 2024. Additional sponsors: Mills, Guess, Molinaire, Williams, Krishnamurthy, Bobert, Rose, Cole, Mast, Lawler, Henson, Higgins, Guthrie, Alford. May 7th. Reported with an amendment committed to the committee of the whole House on the State of the Union in order to be printed. A bill to amend the Secure and Trusted Communication Networks Act of 2019 to provide for the addition of certain equipment and services produced or provided by DJI Technologies to the list of covered communications equipment or services published under such act and for other purposes. Okay. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the U.S. of America in Congress assembled, this act may be cited as Countering CCP Drones Act. Addition of certain equipment and services of DJI Technologies to covered list. In general, Section 2C of the Secure and Trusted Communications Networks Act of 2019 is amended by adding at the end the following: the communications equipment or service being A, telecommunications or video surveillance equipment produced by Shenzhen Dajing Innovation Sciences and Technologies Company Limited. That's also called DJI, or any subsidiary or affiliate thereof. Telecommunications or video surveillance services, including software provided by an entity described in subparagraph A, DJI, or using equipment described in such subparagraph, conforming amendments, Section 2 of the Secure and Trusted Communication Networks Act of 2019. (14 U.S.C. 1601) is amended by striking paragraphs 1 through 4, each place it appears, and inserting paragraphs 1 through 5. Okay. And so that's May 7th, 2024. May 7th. Now, where's my other one? Where's my other one? All right. But this is how we get fucked from having anything nice, from flying drones for your own pleasure, for doing your amateur photography and all the things you like to do. This at an affordable price. This is how you get shafted, and we stand up an entire industry overnight. It's called us. Just go ahead and run a play. Uh, December 2024 drone fiasco. All right. So, what is HR 8610? See, this is, like I said, this is not overnight. This is not overnight. This is not just started 2 weeks ago or a month ago. This was introduced June 4th, 2024. Mr. Green of Tennessee for himself, Mr. Thompson of Mississippi, Mr. Graves of Missouri, Mr. Larson of Washington, and Mr. Nadler introduced the following bill, which was referred to the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure, and in addition to the committees on the Judiciary and Homeland Security for a period to be subsequently determined by the Speaker in each case for consideration of such provisions as fall within the jurisdiction of the committee concerned. Okay, June 4, 2024. Then we had September 2024. Committees on the Judiciary and Homeland Security discharged. Committed to the Committee of the Whole House and State of the Union and ordered to be printed. A bill to reauthorize and reform counter unmanned aircraft system authorities to improve transparency, security, safety, and accountability. There we go. To such authorities and for other purposes. Being enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the U.S. in Congress assembled. This act may be cited as the Counter UAS Authority Security, Safety, and Reauthorization Act. Or we could call it the Counter Drone Act. The table of contents of this act are as follows. Short title, definitions, protection of certain facilities and assets from drones, FAA counter drone activities, additional limited authority for detection, identification, monitoring, and tracking, counter drone mitigation, law enforcement pilot program, counter drone system planning and deployment at airports. Now, notice where this is happening, okay? They're doing it over cities so that the city law enforcement will have this, okay? They're doing it over airports, so every airport will have this program. They're doing it over military bases, so all the military base areas will have it. Look, they're rolling this out blanket fashion. So the same cops who come and escalate your situations over a tow truck or over a dispute with a neighbor and somebody ends up getting shot or killed, these same cops are going to be running this program. You get how deep this is going to go? That's why it was so important before the administration changed to run this PSYOP. Definitions, okay. We'll skip this. Here we go. Covered airport means, now pay attention, these things are very important to understand. A large hub airport, a medium hub airport, an airport with a total annual landed weight of all cargo of more than 7,500,000,000 pounds in 2021 or any year thereafter. Covered entity, the owner or proprietor of a covered site with respect to public gathering or organizing entity of such gathering, covered site. A fixed site facility related to critical infrastructure such as energy production. This is very important to understand these terms, seriously. Transmission, distribution, equipment, railroad facilities, oil refineries, chemical facilities, amusement parks, prisons. Okay? The site with respect to which a flight restriction is maintained pursuant to Section 521 of the Division F of Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2004. Section 3, protection of certain facilities and assets from unmanned aircraft systems, i.e. drones. Section 210G of the Homeland Security Act of 2002 is amended in subsection A by striking, as defined by Secretary or Attorney General in consultation with the Secretary of Transportation, and inserting, as defined by the Secretary and Attorney General in coordination with the Secretary of Transportation. So the Secretary of Transportation he's coming up. It's coming up in subparagraph A by inserting unmanned aircraft during the operation of the unmanned aircraft system. In subparagraph D by striking seize, exercise control of, and inserting seize, exercise control of, or otherwise confiscate. By striking subparagraph E and redesignating subparagraph F and as subparagraph E, and by striking paragraphs 2 through 4 and inserting the following. Coordination. In general, the Secretary and Attorney General shall coordinate with the Secretary of Transportation in carrying out the actions described in this paragraph. Determination by Administrator of Federal Aviation Administration. Before the Secretary and the Attorney General may take or authorize the taking of an action under this section, the Administrator of the Federal Aviation Administration shall determine if such an action would result in an adverse impact on aviation safety, civil aviation, or aerospace operations, aircraft airworthiness, or the use of the national airspace system. If the administration determines such action would not result in such an adverse impact, the Secretary and the Attorney General may take or authorize the taking of such action. If the administrator determines such action would result in such an adverse impact, the Secretary and Attorney General shall coordinate with the administrator to take any necessary action to ensure that such an adverse impact can be sufficiently mitigated. Research, testing, training, and evaluation. The Secretary, the Attorney General, and the Secretary of Transportation may conduct research on, testing on, training on, evaluation of equipment, including electronic equipment and technology, to determine the capability and utility of such equipment or technology for any action described in paragraph 1, including prior to the initial use of such equipment or technology. The Secretary, Attorney General, and Secretary of Transportation shall coordinate activities under this paragraph and mutually share data and results from such activities. List of authorized equipment and technologies. Not later than 1 year after the date of enactment. You see what we're doing here? Of the Counter Drone Authority Security Safety Reauthorization Act, the Secretary, in coordination with the Attorney General and Administrator of the FAA, shall maintain a list of approved makes and models of counter drone detection and mitigation systems, equipment, and technology. Such a list shall include the following: a description of specific detection or mitigation functions of each of such system, equipment, or technology that enables each such system, equipment, or technology to carry out an action described in paragraph 1, whether each such system, equipment, or technology is authorized for an action described in subparagraph A, B, C, D, or of paragraph 1. Any conditions or restrictions generally applicable to the use, location, or positioning of each such system, equipment, or technology, including whether and how each system, equipment, technology may be suitable for use in terminal airspace. Whoops. Impact determination administrator. A counter drone detection or mitigation system, equipment, or technology may not be included on the list maintained under subparagraph A unless the administrator of the FFA makes a written determination that 1, the system, equipment, or technology meets any applicable minimum performance requirements. Okay. 2, the use of such system, equipment, or technology does not present an adverse impact on aviation safety, civil aviation, or aerospace operations, aircraft airworthiness, or the use of national airspace systems. In the event the administrator identifies such an adverse impact from such system, equipment, or technology, such an adverse impact can be sufficiently mitigated, and the mitigation activities are described in the list maintained under subparagraph A. Okay. We're going to skip ahead. Okay, we're going to page here. Let's see. HR 8610 is what I'm reading. HR 8610. By striking new technology and inserting counter drone detection mitigation system, equipment, or technology. By striking Secretary and Attorney General shall respectively, and inserting Secretary in coordination with the Secretary of Transportation and Attorney General shall. In the second sentence, by striking to the national airspace system and inserting to the safety and operation of the national airspace system. Termination. So you guys have to understand what's going on here. The authority under this section shall terminate on October 1st, 2029. 2029. October. The security or protection functions for facilities, assets, and operations of Homeland Security, investigations, or the security and protection of public airports. No later than 1 year after the date of enactment of this Counter Drone Authority Security, Safety, and Reauthorization Act, and annually thereafter. The Secretary, in coordination with the Secretary of Transportation and the Attorney General, shall submit to the appropriate congressional committee a report that contains the following: the information required under subsection G2, a description, any guidance, policies, programs, and procedures to mitigate or eliminate any adverse impact of the activities carried out pursuant to this section, or the use of any counter drone detection or mitigation system, equipment, or technology on aviation safety, civil aviation, aerospace operations, aircraft airworthiness, or the use of national airspace system. A description of the guidance, policies, programs, procedures established to address privacy, civil rights, and civil liberties issues implicated by the activities carried out pursuant to this. Okay. Then there's a whole section on the training, and it says counter UAS activities. The administrator of the FAA may take such actions as described in paragraph 2 that are necessary to detect or mitigate a credible threat as defined by the Secretary of Homeland Security and Attorney General in consultation with the administrator, that an operation of a drone poses to the safe and efficient operation of the national airspace system, or test or evaluate the potential adverse impacts of or interference of a counter drone detection or mitigation system, equipment, or technology on or with safe airport operations, aircraft navigation, air traffic services, or the safe and efficient operation of the national airspace system. The administrator may take the following actions: detect, identify, monitor, and track an unmanned aircraft system, a drone, without prior consent from the operator of such system or aircraft, including by means of intercept, access of oral electronic communications used to control, contact or warn the operator of a potential action authorized under this subsection, seize, exercise control of, or otherwise confiscate a drone, disrupt, control of, disable, damage, or destroy a drone, including by means of intercept or other access of wire electronic communication used to control the unmanned aircraft. So you see what's happening here? In implementing the requirements of this section, the administrator, in coordination with the Attorney General and Secretary of Homeland Security, shall ensure that the interception or acquisition of, or access to, or maintenance use of communications to or from an unmanned aircraft system, drone, under this section is conducted in a manner consistent with the First and Fourth Amendments to the U.S. Constitution. Communications to or from an unmanned aircraft system are intercepted or acquired only to the extent necessary to support an action as described under A2. Records of such communications are disposed of as immediately following herein authorized activity to mitigate a credible threat, unless the administrator, Secretary of Homeland Security, or the Attorney General determine the maintenance of such records is necessary to investigate or prosecute. Yes. Would directly support the DoD, federal law enforcement, or the enforcement activities of any or a regulatory agency of the federal government in connection with criminal or civil investigations, or any statutory or enforcement action related to an action described. To the extent necessary, the Secretary of Homeland Security and the Attorney General are authorized to share threat information, which shall not include communications described in the subsection with state, local, and territorial or tribal law enforcement agencies. Is this starting to paint a picture? This is your problem reaction solution, which is absolute control. Okay, what this means is absolute control. It seems like I may have forgotten to turn a page, but this is absolute control of the drone landscape. And you get no Chinese drones. So no more no more Chinese drones, as good as they are and as affordable as they are. The absolute best in the world. No more of that. Okay, not only that, they get to shoot them down, maybe just neutralize them electronically so they just fall on out of the sky, confiscate. They get to have all of your tracking from your phone. So anything you've ever done with that drone, they're going to now have your flight history. They're going to have your whatever else they want electronically, so they can go and see what else you might have done with the drone they don't want, any pictures you've taken, videos you've taken. Now it gets handed over to your local cops if they want your locals to prosecute you, to the FBI if they want the FBI to prosecute you. It's absolute control, which is why they created this situation. Like I said, it would not surprise me if those drones are flying straight off of military bases, straight off of aircraft carriers, or straight out of a contractor who's been contracted to perform this false flag. So they throw the drones up over highly populated areas like New York, New Jersey. They're throwing the drones up, letting everyone see them. Meanwhile, they create a media hysteria. Okay, so then everyone goes out. They take, I showed you the video earlier. They go take photos of stars, tell you that the stars are drones, and there's drones everywhere, all up your ass. There's drones everywhere. At any minute now, we don't know. And then they have the feds come out and say, we don't know what it is, but everything's fine. There's no problem. There's nothing to see here. We're working on it. We're investigating it. And then they have all the congressmen come out, and the governors and the mayors, etc., and they all come out and they say, we just want something to be done. We need something to be done. Why isn't something being done? We need to get to the bottom of this. So you've got all of the officials as a unified front with the media and with the feds, everyone. It's a unified front. And what the public says is, we just want to be safe from drones. We just want to be safe because the government's not saying, yeah, we're running a psyop on you. The government's not saying, yeah, we know who the drones are, because trust me, if we didn't, if it was a problem, they'd already be gone. Okay, have I thrown this up yet? This is page 28. Now look, they want a director of counter-drone activities to coordinate with other offices, okay, of the administration, to lead the development and implementation of counter-drone activities, serve as the administration's primary point of contact for coordination with federal, state agencies, airports, and other relevant stakeholders. Remember earlier we were reading what that means? Do you remember what we were reading? When I said, what does it mean? We read the terms. We learned that it's going to be anything like a. Let me get back to that. Geez, I forgot the terms already. Remember, it was going to be like a sporting event. It's going to be an airport. I don't know where those terms are, which page. I don't want to go back that far and figure it out, but okay, covered site. Here we go. Covered site. Railroad facilities, energy distribution infrastructure, amusement parks, prisons, locations of large public gatherings, airports, all of that shit. Do you get how overarching this is? Covered site. So let me read that again, okay? Covered site is a fixed site facility related to critical infrastructure such as energy production, energy transmission, distribution, facilities and equipment, railroad facilities, oil refineries, chemical facilities, amusement parks, state prisons, locations of large public gatherings, airports. Okay, all of that shit. All of that shit is what's being referred to. So let's go back to this. So with that being said, there we go. So this director of counter UAS activities, counter drone activities over all of the places I just mentioned, you know, the oil refineries, the railroad yards, the amusement parks, the energy substations, and the ballparks, et cetera, et cetera. He's going to be the point of contact for coordinating all the counter drone activities for all of these places, all of the airports, et cetera. He's going to coordinate with the director or the secretary of Homeland Security and the attorney general, okay, to do all of this. And remember, with the power that we just read, that's going to include the destruction of the device, the confiscation of the device, possibly the interference with the electronic communications, the possible seizure of the electronic communications and the device, the preservation of such for purposes of local, state, and federal law enforcement. Okay. It's absolute overarching control of the drone landscape is what. So these past several years of freedom of flying your drones, it's all over. It's done. Drone freedom is over. Good drones at a decent price, over. All right, sorry, I'm upset about it because what this actually is, and what this whole psyop on the public is, it's upsetting. What else should I read from here? I'm going to skip a bunch of it, but oh my gosh, man. All right, let's do this one. Let's go here to this page here. I'm going to get to this. Section 5, additional limited authority for detection, identification, monitoring, and tracking. The Secretary of Homeland Security, in coordination with the administrator of the FAA and the Attorney General, may authorize the acquisition, deployment, and operation of approved counter-drone detection systems, equipment, or technology intended to be used for the detection of drones by a covered entity. Remember, covered entity are all of those things I just named. Not later than 100 days after the establishment of this list, of approved makes and models of counter drone equipment and technology shall establish an application process to authorize the acquisition, deployment, and operation of approved counter drone detection systems, equipment, or technologies by federal, state, local, territorial, tribal law enforcement. So this is going to be a huge industry. That's what he's spelling out here. This counter drone technology is going to be a humongous industry. It's just getting stood up, and it's going to be by application. It's going to make billionaires. It's going to make billionaires. Okay. All right. So they spell it all out here how that's going to work. And like I said, just keep in mind. So not only is it all these places, just basically like every place infrastructure related you can imagine. Okay. It's also all the law enforcement authorities on every strata. Okay. So your little tribal police, your little Delphi police department, your little county sheriffs, your state police, and then, like I said, the feds and the Homeland Security and the FBI, and it's bop, 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 bop. Humongous operation here. And that's why you've seen this. Plus, you're going to have all of the training. So imagine that part of the industry that's going to grow up. They're going to have to train in these technologies. They're going to have to train all of these strata of law enforcement in these technologies. Okay. And it's all going to be U.S. made. Okay, so that's another thing. China gets shut out. A lot of the world gets shut out. It's all going to be U.S. made, U.S. Controlled. It's training, it's law enforcement, it's technology, it's drones, and the counter drone technology is enormous. Enormous. Okay. Now let's go here. This is an interesting one here I got on page 48. Let's go to that. Boom. Counter drone mitigation law enforcement pilot program. Oh, don't you just love the sound of that? Don't you just love the sound of that? So why are you seeing these drones on the news and all the mass hysteria? Subject to the availability of appropriations for such purpose, not later than 180 days after first determination that a counter drone system with mitigation capabilities meets the requirements of Section 44810E of Title 49 USC, the Secretary of Homeland Security, in coordination with the Attorney General and the Administrator of the FAA, shall establish a pilot program to assess the efficacy of approved counter-drone mitigation systems at covered sites. Covered sites, remember that term, means everything. It's basically in the infrastructure. And determine the appropriate policies, procedures, and protocols necessary to allow state and covered law enforcement agencies. Remember, when I read the definition of covered law enforcement agencies, it means all law enforcement. To acquire, deploy, and operate approved counter-drone mitigation systems and mitigate unauthorized drone operations on behalf of covered entities, law enforcement. Okay. I mean, in my opinion, this is the new COVID. Okay, this is the new COVID. This is the next biggest operation Okay, you saw what happened when COVID was rolled out, how that was the big thing. Okay, so now you know what the next big thing is. Okay, this is what they decided was going to be the big shebang. And they've been working on it for years. Remember, I think this first one was 2018. So since 2018. All right. So it spells out the pilot program and how, as this pilot program gets rolled out to all the law enforcement agencies, there's going to be specific reporting that comes back. Okay, the reporting will be, a necessary component of the pilot program. Then they're going to do a site-specific evaluation and all of this stuff. Okay, let's go to page 55 here. This is the I want to look down here for initial size. It's line number 18. The program established under subsection A may include not more than 5 state or covered local law enforcement agencies. No state or covered local law enforcement agency participating in the pilot program established under subsection A may operate approved counter-drone mitigation systems, equipment, or technology at more than 4 covered sites. Okay, so it's 4 times 5, that's 20. So that means the pilot program is going to be 20 deep. You're going to have 5 agencies, each with 4 sites. It's going to go on for a year or so. Okay. Now it says, if you go down here to line 17, not later than 3 years after approved counter mitigation systems, equipment, or technology are deployed at the 5 covered sites under subsection 8, the secretary, in coordination with the administrator and attorney general, shall review the preliminary results of such a pilot program, and if appropriate, take such actions as may be necessary to revise or expand the counter drone system mitigation authority, subject to the availability of trained personnel. Well, that makes sense just perfectly why this expires in 2029. Wasn't it 2029? So we're going to 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028. Okay. Then it expires because it'll have served its purpose, as this is all setting up this entire industry and the pilot program. And then after this period of time expires, guarantee you in the 4th or 5th year, it's going to be expanded in a full rollout across the nation. And let's read number 58. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help you understand why you just saw this entire PSYOP rolled out. Okay. Counter drone system planning and deployment at airports. You see, not later than 1 year after the date of enactment, the administrator of the FAA shall develop a plan in coordination with these others for operations at covered airports. Okay. This plan, required under the paragraph, shall consider the roles and responsibilities of federal agency personnel, including air traffic control and federal air marshal resources, relevant airport personnel. Other stakeholder, administrator determines appropriate in the terminal airspace, operational procedures, protocols, policies, and guidelines pertaining to the deployment of such systems. Okay, it's a whole deal with the airports. Now here, let's go and look at this page. This is pretty interesting here. I'm trying to save you all the reading. Here we go. Pursuant to the plan required in subsection 8 and subject to available appropriations, the administrator in coordination with the Secretary of Homeland Security and Attorney General and other relevant federal agencies shall provide for the deployment of approved counter-drone detection systems, equipment, and technology within the terminal airspace of A, each large hub airport, not later than 30 months after the publication of the performance requirements described in section 44810E of Title 49 USC. B, a minimum of 3 airports that each have a total annual landed weight of all cargo of more than 7,500,000,000 pounds in 2021 or in a year thereafter, not later than 12 months after the publications of the guidance described in subsection A, and each medium hub airport not later than 4 years. Again, we're going to go to that 4-year mark. So they're going to first roll it out at a handful of extremely large airports, and then go to all the medium-sized airports. All right. Make sure you can see this. Yeah, down at the bottom, 19. Pursuant to the plan required in subsection A, counter UAS mitigation at airports, the Secretary of Homeland Security, jointly with the Administrator of Federal Aviation Administration and in coordination with the Attorney General, subject to the availability of appropriations, establish a pilot program to assess the feasibility of deploying approved counter UAS mitigation systems, equipment, and technology capable of mitigating unmanned aircraft and unmanned aircraft systems for the purposes of responding to a persistent disruption of air traffic operations. You see, that's why you've seen some of these over airports the past week. Just in the past few days, there's been 1 or 2 airports in the New York, New Jersey area that had to temporarily shut down because they said there's a drone over. Okay. That's why. Because they couldn't just have the drones over the countryside. They couldn't just have the drones over the city. They couldn't just have the drones over the military bases. Part of this operation here, this plan, this solution, this legislation is the setting up at all airports. So they had to have some drones fly over some airports, have the airports temporarily shut down for a couple hours because you're going to have counter drone mitigation at airports. Problem, reaction, solution. All right. Oh, what else have we missed? Yeah, I'm giving up. Let me just go ahead and pop this on the screen for you once again so you can see it. HR 610. Okay. HR 610. 8610. So it's not enough just to get rid of the Chinese drones, okay? It's not just you have to conceive of how big this is. It's not just about getting rid of the Chinese drones. No, it's far more than that. It's far more than that. That's just one piece of the puzzle there. It's getting rid of those Chinese, those pesky Chinese, affordable, wonderful, amazing, perfect, flawlessly operating drones. Even the cheap ones just perfectly work. Those DJIs. Okay. It's not just about getting rid of those. This is about standing up an entire weaponized. Okay. I think I have to put it very specifically so you really understand this. It's standing up an entire weaponized drone program in the United States of America. Weaponized drones at all of the above: railroad yards, oil refineries, ballparks, electric substations, transmission facilities, probably warehouses, airports of all sizes, military bases. They're probably going to move into densely populated areas, so it's going to be cities. I forget what else I missed on the list, but it's standing up an entire weaponized drone program across the United States in the next 5 years, which is why they have to exclude the uncontrolled drones, because they can't have these independent. In other words, it's any foreign actors have to be out of this program, out of the picture. It has to be a complete. It's basically like you're setting up a military program, but it's going to be classified under the corporate or under corporations as a free market industry here. But it's basically it's a militarized program nationwide, drones everywhere. And counter drones, trust me, counter drones are going to be drones that are weaponized, that can fly on in. So you got a drone over here, they want to neutralize it. So they have to have a weaponized drone that can come and fly to this civilian drone, shoot it out of the sky. Okay. So like I said, if you've wondered why you've gone through a month of PSYOP, of every day the news headlines is drones, 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 drones. They're showing you fucking constellations. We're going to look at it again. Now that we're done this, now that we've gone through all this, I want to play it for you again just so that you can laugh, but you're going to laugh with that hesitation and fear deep down in your gut. When you understand that this is the next COVID, okay? They waited until the end of this administration's term to go ahead and roll this out. It's a PSYOP. It's problem, reaction, solution, okay? Again, let's put this up. Problem, reaction, solution. Classic Machiavellian fabricated external enemy strategy for manipulation of public opinion and society, so we will accept it. Usually by the government. The general theory is based on the Hegelian dialectic, okay? It's a strategy of creating a crisis, the problem, the drones, waiting for the call to action. That's the public response. And by public, I also mean the politicians, the senators, the congressmen, the mayors, the sheriffs, okay? And then presenting the solution, which is the legislation we just went through, the standing up of an entire weaponized drone and counter drone program and excluding all foreign drones over every aspect of society. Look at these points here, 0, 1, 2, 3. The government wants power The people will not freely give. The government creates or exploits a problem, blaming it on others. The people react by asking the government for help, willing to give up their rights. They think terrorists, cyber terrorism, domestic terrorism, drones. The government offers the solution that was planned long before the crisis. And that solution right now, it's this stuff. Okay. And this one, HR 8610. Remember, let me show you this.
There's been more drone sightings across the country. The latest report in New York, New Jersey, and Maryland. The White House says there is no evidence the reported drones pose any threat, but that's doing little to calm concerns. People in Southern California are also reporting mysterious drone sightings, and one person captured video of lights over Temecula.
I'm going to pull this up here and show our viewers there's a big red dot. There you see it, kind of dead center of the screen. What do you think that is? What do you think people are seeing in the skies, and why only at night?
And they move really fast.
Eyewitness News cannot confirm what these videos show, but we found several people who say they saw similar lights.
These three lights that were in a sort of a triangle kind of formation, an odd looking thing. And I'm thinking that doesn't look like a plane. It started flying erratically.
Witnesses at first thinking it was aircraft heading to nearby Camp Pendleton.
You could hear them, and you couldn't hear this thing.
Angel says he's uneasy after seeing 5 zip over his head toward the Pacific Ocean.
You know, it's just kind of scary to think like who's watching, and the fact that we contacted the sheriffs, the Myriad PD commented on a post of mine. Nobody knows whose they are.
This following reports of similar sightings.
Again, I just played that so you can see Orion again.
They are.
This following report.
Really? Oh my God, dude. Really? It's fucking Orion, dumbass. The drones are coming to get me. I just can't. I mean, it's Orion, dumbass. What does that say? Gov Larry Hogan? Let's do a little something. Let me go to Twitter. Okay. So this is who posted this? Gov Larry Hogan? Well, who is this? Hold on. Governor Larry Hogan, 62nd governor of Maryland. Husband, dad, and granddad. Oh no. Check it out. This is the thing. You're not going to believe this. Governor Larry Hogan's the biggest fucking stooge I've ever seen in my life. Bro, hold on. Fuck. Okay, look at the screen up here. Governor Larry Hogan, right? All right. We did this in real time. Okay. We just found this in real time. Look. Governor Larry Hogan. Okay. Orion. Last night, beginning at around 9:45 p.m., I personally witnessed and videoed what appeared to be dozens of large drones in the sky above my residence in Davidsonville, Maryland, 25 miles from our nation's capital. I observed the activity for approximately 45 minutes. Yeah. Did you look at Orion for 45 minutes? Well, good for you. That's called a blessing. Like many who have observed these drones, I do not know if this increasing activity over our skies is a threat to the public safety or national security, but the public is growing increasingly concerned and frustrated with the complete lack of transparency and the dismissive attitude of the federal government. The government has the ability to track these from their point of origin, true, but has mounted a negligent response. No, it's called a psyop. People are rightfully clamoring for answers, but aren't getting any. Are you a Mason? We are being told that neither the White House, the military, the FBI, or Homeland Security have any idea what they are, where they come from, or who has launched or who is controlling them, and they pose no threat. But that response is entirely unacceptable. I join with the growing bipartisan chorus. Anytime you hear that word, that's your key, that it's a psyop. They're running a play on you. I join with the growing bipartisan chorus of leaders demanding that the federal government immediately address the issue. Oh, they have. It's called the National Defense Authorization Act, and it's called House Bill 8610, brother. I'm telling you, these Masons, bro. And look, the funniest thing here, the funniest thing. He's been fact checked. Okay. The stars at the 39-second mark are recognizably the constellation Orion. From this, you can determine that the brightest lights behind the trees are the stars Sirius and Procyon. No anomalous objects are apparent in this video. It's all stars, Governor Larry Hogan. They got you running Maryland? Really? I mean, I need a salary similar to yours, Governor. I mean, I understand, I understand you got a job to do. I don't know, bro. It's not a good look to be filming Orion and passing it off as some scary Iranian drones. I mean, you cannot make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. But this is the truth about the drones. Problem, reaction, solution. And that was the point of our show tonight, and I hope you enjoyed it. Yes. Listen, the federal government right now is trolling all of us. Okay, they're trolling the world because remember what I said at the outset of the show, that this panic has spread from New Jersey to the West Coast, now the entire U.S., and now the entire world. People are seeing drones everywhere. So I hope that you enjoyed that, and maybe your worries are eased a little. But now you have something even worse to worry about. You have something bigger to worry about than some random drones in the sky. You actually have an entire weaponized drone program being rolled out to be concerned with. So, and like I said, remember that it's going to be every level of law enforcement. Okay, so it's bad. But that's the truth about the drones. And thanks to the governor for filming Orion, because if it wasn't for him shooting some stars with his iPhone, I probably would not have done this show, because I had been thinking about doing it, but I said, no, nobody wants to hear me talk about drones. But hopefully this is a community service to someone out there who's been nervous about the drones. Okay. Don't be nervous about the drones. Be nervous about what's to come as a result of this PSYOP. That's what you'd be worried about. But I sure did enjoy at least laughing at the end at Governor Hogan. So I'd like to ask you to join the channel, hit the thumbs up, leave a membership, a donation, a super chat, a super thanks, a Cash App. If you're on the replay, a comment down below in the comment section. Anything you'd like to do. I do appreciate the support, and wow, I think I've given myself a headache. that reading through legislation is something that I never want to do. So I don't mind the court documents and the other things we often read. Don't mind it, but gosh, reading through that is not my favorite thing to do. All right. I see you, Prof, spoke about Blair Witch yesterday, and that's where they learned their camera technique. Thank you so much for this explanation. As a lifelong learner, I was looking for a reasonable explanation, and you gave me it. Well, trust me, they'll say, he's a conspiracy theorist. He actually thinks there's a PSYOP. Okay. Penny, thank you. Just James, thank you. Thanks, Prof. You droned on and on and on in it, but it was good. Oh my God, dude. You can't make this shit up with these people. Monday loved the Prof. Be nervous about those drones who pretend to be human beings, despite lacking the ability to think independently. Well, Liggett would be shooting at stars. I want to know what they know. Yeah, these guys are they're really something, man. This has really been something. I can't. I just want to keep laughing. I mean, I'm gonna have to. When I turn this shit off, I'll probably laugh for 5-10 more minutes. Yeah, I'm just reading some comments. I missed a lot of comments. All right, nice comments, nice comments. Well, you can't make this shit up. Neither can we. What else can you do but laugh? Yeah. All right. Those of us who are educated critical thinkers know better than what they want us to think about the conspiracy. Well, you know how you knew it was bullshit? Okay. When I really had enough was when the guy from the Pentagon, or what, I don't even know, what's his name? When the guy's up there and he's like, oh, no, there's no drones. It's people are seeing planes or stars. Yeah, mesmerizing lights in the sky. I don't see a problem here. Come on, what are you going to do? I mean, come on, bro. You're the government. You're the military, right? You know, if a pigeon takes a poop, in West Virginia, it's just, come on. Yeah, and I mean, and then they're putting the drones up with lights blasting. Okay, there's red, green, white. There's lights everywhere, and oh, I see drones. Okay, they know their districts are about to be stripped of some funding, so they had to make a program that would require widespread adoption. All right, but hey, for all of you who may or may not be interested in Delphi murders, if you're just watching for the drones, be aware that on this channel we have focused very intently on the Delphi murders. So if you're interested in learning some things about that, explore the channel. Okay, there's plenty there. Both community pages. I have a backup channel. Please go subscribe to that as well. The Prof True Crime is my little backup channel. The Prof is my main channel. Both community pages are different. Go enjoy the community pages. There's a lot of stuff there regarding this Delphi murders scenario. Like I said, just please hit the thumbs up and leave a comment. And we'd love to have you in the future. So as we do, you hit the notification bell when we do future shows. Hopefully you'll be notified for that. Okay. So I appreciate all of this. And I think I'm going to get out of here. Okay. Well done, Prof. Thanks for this information. Thank you, Who's Your Daddy. Kelsey said, have you heard of the shack? Have you heard of the shack? All right. Awesome. No, I'm not going live for the sentencing. I can already tell you what's going to happen. The Patties are going to stand up and they're going to lay out they're going to lay it on the public. Okay. They're going to lay it on the public. Judge Gull is going to max out his sentence to the absolute furthest limit imaginable. Okay. He's getting the max sentence. The Patties are going to lay it on thick. Okay. Like this. No matter. But what you should be concerned about is that it's very likely that the gag order will be lifted, which means we're about to learn some things about the Delphi murders. Okay. So God bless you guys. Love you. How many times will we hear today is the day? She was a hero who accidentally filmed somebody that was turned into a bridge guy. All right. So I don't know. Hopefully you enjoyed the show and you loved it and had a good time. It was a Monday night. What do you expect? But like I said, just a few days away from some interesting information. So I cannot wait for us all to learn some information about the Delphi murders because it's been too long. It's been too long. So big old thanks to all of you here who stuck it out. The Monday TD3, Aaron Town, Fur Baby Daddy, Kate U, Just James, Sherlock Romes, Iva Pappas, Penny Pona, Amy, Heavy Metal Rehab, Sweet Dude Shibby, Juepsi, 5 Green Acres, Min, Jay, Nobody Nothing, Toby, 5 Green Acres. I might have already said that. I don't know. All of you awesome people. Okay. If you were here way earlier, I say hello to you too. And if you say hello before we leave, I'll say goodbye to you. Jake Brooks, Rebecca Green, Tracy Fleetwood. Okay. All you awesome people. Thank you so much for sticking it out and joining the chat. And all you lurkers who just lurked. I'm happy that you lurked. All right, Mary Martin. Good night, Mary. All right. Hide your, hide your wives and grab your pickles. Digital. All right. But no, go out and tell all your family, tell your wives, tell your kids, and tell all your friends. Don't worry about the damn drones. Worry about what's the reason for it. Okay. Tell them about what we talked tonight, and that would make my day if you do that. Okay. So anyway, love you. God bless you. Peace out, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right. God bless everyone, and leave a comment down below. All right. Love you.